Welcome, everybody, to Catfish Weekly, presented by Whiskerware Apparel. Along with Doc Lang, I'm Lyle Stokes. Doc, we have a bunch of stuff to go over tonight, and we are getting ready to head to Owensboro, Kentucky to fish Monsters on the Ohio.
3 days, 11 hours, 58 minutes, and 12 seconds.
Is that the time you're leaving?
No, that's the time of the tournament.
3 days?
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. That's not correct, is it?
It couldn't be. If it is, you're going to be fishing before I am.
Here I've been giving everybody the wrong. I got the date of the 13th on there. I'm gonna have to change this.
Man, are you set and ready to go?
Yeah.
I know it's a big deal getting everybody lined up and getting everything done. As you know, after selling that Monster Cat, we have really been going at it hard for 3 weeks trying to get our other boat ready to go. It had been running almost 2 years, and we finally got it out on the water yesterday. It run good and everything's working, so we're excited about being down there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I understand you have some news from Bass and More that you need to share with everybody.
Yeah, Jim, I talked to Jim today, and he said on Wednesday, Carl is bringing him a load of frozen, and that'll be for the guys that are signed up for pre-fishing. And then he was bringing a load of fresh on ice on Thursday and another load on fresh on ice on Friday. And he is starting what he calls a reserve list. There's already people that are on the main list right now. So if you want fresh, contact Jim at Bass and More, and you can ask to be put onto the reserve list. If he's got anything left over, he'll contact you. And I talked to Jim about that. So,
okay, so if anybody doesn't have bait and they want to reserve some and get on the reserve list, get a hold of Jim at Bass and More, and that's how you do it. And there's no guarantees that there will be any extra, but if they are, at least you got your name in the hat to be there.
On the reserve list, yes. So
I think that anybody that's needing bait, that's a great idea. And we will be at Bass and More Thursday afternoon when we get done pre-fishing.
Yes.
We're going to do a show. We're going to have a little cookout. Everybody's going to get to eat a little bit. Jim and Sheila, Brandon is so gracious to allow us to have our cookout thing. It's pretty good deal. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hot dogs and hamburgers. And if you want to be on Catfish Weekly, come on up, get signed up. Cindy will be there with the list, and we'll probably do 30, 45 minutes or a little longer sets at a time, and we'll do them till everybody's on that wants to be on the show gets on the show.
Yep. So, and the weather's looking pretty good for down there this weekend. It's not going to be as hot as Monsters on the Mississippi, but
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because that was kind of warm.
Yes, it was. It was really brutal out there at times, but when the wind was blowing, it was very comfortable. And it's going to work out. It's going to be a great time. Water's going to be dropping a little bit. That's going to hurt some guys. Some guys that's going to play right in their wheelhouse. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a blast down there. And now, you and I fished Mississippi River Monsters together the last couple of years, you and I and Cindy.
Yep.
And last year we fished Monsters on the Ohio together, and we had such a great time. But this year you're fishing with your normal fishing partner and Lynn. And that's outstanding. I'm glad to see Lynn back in the boat with you guys. She's such a fine lady. And former West Virginia State record holder for Blue Cat, so it ain't like she don't know how to put fish in a boat.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, me too. Me too. It's always a pleasure to see her, and I know I've met Daniel, but I you know, we get to visit with so many people, I forget, you know, from time to time. And I'm anxious to meet him again and reacquaint ourselves with him. So Catfish Stalker Outdoors, there's 166 boats registered at present time from Monsters on the Ohio. That's a pretty big number because Aaron always gets a bunch of them the last minute.
Yeah, so, and then he opened it up. I think that's what he.
Yeah, so. Yeah. He give them a couple more days to get registered, and I think that'll help him. He's so close to hitting that 200 boat plateau, and this could be the year. It very well could, and he would be really, really excited if that happened, as would everyone else. You know, it would be a lot of fun to see that many boats. I got one thing that I was planned on doing, Doc, before this happened. You know, we tried to do a little video for some of these tournaments, especially for Aaron. We've been doing usually every year we do a little something, and this year I had so much going on, I just didn't get it done. But you know, with the thing that we was going to try to do, one of the deals with that is a hot topic for everybody right now is these football players and basketball players that won't stand up for the national anthem and things like that, and that is so disrespectful to the country and our military and everybody. And one thing that I've noticed that's happening, and Aaron has always done it ever since we've been going down there. Alex Nagy does it with Twisted Cat Outdoors, and the boys up in Kansas City has been playing the national anthem before these events take place. And when we get to Memphis, or we get to Owensboro, and everybody's out there on that water getting ready for launch, when Aaron strikes up that national anthem, if you'll watch, there's not a boat running. Everybody around you's got their hat in their hand and their hand over their heart, just like they should be. Now, if these football players and basketball players would pay attention to what real sportsmen do, they could all do the same thing, because if you're an American, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and let's see, he's had somebody sing it the last couple of years, and they have really rocked it.
Knocked it out of the park. That's exactly right. Yeah. They've done really well. And I expect nothing less than that this time. It'll be outstanding. It'll be a great time. And once that national anthem's over and everybody gets done hooping and hollering and blowing their horns and whistles, then it's going to be on.
Yeah. It's going to be hammer time.
Yeah, I just, you know, as long as everybody has a good time and they're safe out there, don't have too much trouble, it's going to be a blast. We're really, really going to have a great time. I see that Glenn from RigRap is in, and he says that if you haven't, don't forget the RigRap Pick a Winner contest that's coming up this weekend for Monsters on the Ohio. Over $100 worth of RigRap stuff up for grabs. So go over. You have to make your post and your selection on the RigRap Facebook page. So make sure that you go over there and do that to have a shot at that. And you never know, you might pick the winner and get you some great prizes.
Yep.
Anything else we need to go over right quick here before we get our guest in, Doc?
No. We can do the tournaments later if you want.
No, either way. I told them about 7:15, so we got 3 or 4 minutes, however you want to do it.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll work. I'll tell you what. Well, let's go ahead and spin the wheel. Did I catch you off guard?
No, you did not.
Oh, man. All right. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel.
Give me a
shot. Let's go with number 4.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the winner is Ken Schwager, Schwieger. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, Ken, but we are spinning the old RigRap prize wheel for you tonight.
And let's see what he has won. Love you.
Love you.
And don't forget, folks, we're going to have the prize wheel at Bassamore Thursday. And you won a Catfish Weekly t-shirt.
All right.
So
it's got our ugly mugs on it.
That's exactly right. So, Ken, if you'll message us and let me know your size and your address, we will get one of those out to you.
Congratulations.
If I don't write it down, I'll forget it.
Yeah, there you go. Caught Glenn. I caught Glenn off guard. He goes, "Oh, whoa, spinning already." Yep.
Man, them guys had a fun tournament up in Kansas City with the Border Wars tournament, Doc. They really had a good time up there with all them guys.
Who won it?
The Kansas boys. I hate to say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they did. They kind of put it on us, but they had a wonderful time. Great event. I hope we can make it to that next year. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Cool.
Jason Jackson, Justin Wolfe, welcome to Catfish Weekly.
Yeah.
You have to turn your mics on. There you go. How's it going, fellas?
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
I got to tell you, boys, and I've already told you this, but on Catfish Weekly, it's a very rare thing when we talk about my rods or anything that I do, because we have sponsors that do so much for us, and I want those guys to have the showcase for the show. But I couldn't be prouder of you guys if I'd have caught them fish myself. 223 pounds on 3 fish. That is amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. You should have been on the boat with us.
I wish I had have. I really do. I don't know Frank, and it's too bad that he couldn't be on the show with us tonight. But man, that is a heck of a number. And all of you caught fish, and you bumped all day, and you drug around, and you put some big numbers in it. But you was leading the tournament after day 1, wasn't you?
Yeah, we were leading it by 0.6 of a pound. We only had 42 pounds on day 1. And Wade Kaminsky and Jason Huggins were in second with half a pound below us. So you can see how the numbers jumped from day 1 to day 2.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. You know, you both was at the tournament in St. Louis the day that Danny turned in 195.2 pounds on 3 fish, a fish by himself. But, you know, that Thursday before the tournament, he caught a 96. So everybody knew he was on fish. And I never dreamed that number would ever get beaten, much less obliterated like you guys just destroyed that record.
Yeah, I mean, where we did it is amazing to do it. You know, after we caught the first one, we figured we had it in the ballpark, what we already had in the live well, and to put 2 more like that in the boat, it still doesn't even sunk in yet, I don't believe.
I mean, that
Did they come back to back?
We caught the 84 first, and I was ready to quit then. I was like, oh, this ain't going to get touched. And they're like, oh, no, let's keep fishing. So we kept fishing. And then Justin caught the 56, and they're like looking at each other even a little bit harder, like, holy cow. And then we did the drift again, and Frank caught the 80. And finally Justin was like, all right, we're done. There was 3-foot yacht waves coming over the back, and the live well lid was barely to close, and yeah, it was time to go in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that you had some pretty good fish in the boat early, but like I say, we went to the lake to check up to our boat to make sure it was going to run before we pulled it all the way to Owensboro. And I come back and the weigh-in was over, and I'm watching that video that you sent me a link to, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what have these guys done? Just amazing. When the Cardinals are on, I've got in my little room here, I got a big screen TV, and nobody comes in here because I'm jumping around and hollering and carrying on, And Cindy happened to be in here and got a sample of that yesterday when I watched that weigh-in. I'm jumping around and hollering and carrying on. She said, I hear you when you do that when the Cardinals are playing, but I've never seen you do that on a fishing tournament weigh-in.
You could have saw us jumping around.
I'll bet. I would have liked to seen you guys in the boat when that second 80 come in there. Man, oh, man.
Shock. There was a lot of shock. There was a lot of hooping and hollering a little bit, but there was a lot of just staring at each other like, what just happened? What's going on here?
Jason and I talked earlier, and I can't think of another tournament anywhere that there's been 2 80s put in the boat in one day.
Usually you'll see one.
Right.
And then, you might have like a 30 or 35 mixed with it. But, man, when you see 3 really nice fish in a boat.
I think the last time I remember something like that happened was way back at a Pickwick Wilson Cabela's Championship. Had to be 10, 15 years ago, I believe. And there were some boys that got down below Pickwick Dam there and got on a tree or something that fell in the water, and they were running the water just right at certain times in the morning. And I think they had some pretty good big fish like this, but that was a 5-fish limit back then too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only one that really comes to my mind.
That was Greg Atkins.
Was that who it was?
Yeah. That's the year that the boys from Ohio won it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a 2-day event.
Yeah.
They were done by like 10:30 each day.
Yeah.
Man. That's amazing. Doc, you got any questions you want to visit with these gentlemen about?
Well, I'm looking at the thing, but yeah, I got it. How deep of water were you targeting?
Anywhere from 20 to 40, pretty much in that ballpark.
Now, were you guys on the Mississippi River? Where were you at?
The Grafton sets right where the Illinois, the confluence of the Illinois and Mississippi River, or the confluence of the where the Illinois dumps into the Mississippi.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Wow. So you guys were using Black Horse bumping rods?
Yeah. We either had bumping rod, the Pro Drift rods, or what Jackson has the, I guess, I don't know what you call them, the anchor rods that Lyle's made for him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which ones them are, the blanks. But
yeah,
every rod came off a Black Horse rod. There was a time there was I seen what Jackson was getting bit on dead sticks up on the front of the boat, and I'm like, I'm done with walking baits. I'm switching my Pro Drift over to a dead stick. I didn't even switch rigs. I just put a bigger weight on and just used it as a 3-weight. And it worked out instantly, like 5 minutes after I switched. So,
man.
It's just adapt to what was going on, right? That's fishing.
Were you fishing with skipjacks or moon eye?
We had shad skipjack, but moon eye was pretty much what we used. We used, I'd say, big chunks, midsection chunks, and small live ones.
Small live ones?
Yeah, about the size of your hand live ones.
Perfect. Just goes to show that them big fish will eat every size bait fish that's in the water.
Yeah.
I think sometimes that I overlook the fact that they'll eat small fish because you're trying to get big fish in the boat and using big baits, because they'll eat big baits, but they'll eat them small ones too.
Now, were the fish relating to a ledge, or was there something there that was? I mean, generally, you don't see 3 great big ones in one area.
Right. Yeah. What we were kind of fishing was what I tell everybody to look for. If you can find a ledge that's going horizontally across the river, you know, from one bank to the other, or a diagonal. You know, it's kind of like a channel in the channel. It's a typical ledge drop that you're coming over. But this one has a diagonal kind of from east to west, and it just kind of it always has current running in it.
Awesome.
Wow. Yeah, people were, well, just somebody, wish I could find moon eye from the bank near me. Yeah, don't we all?
Glenn from RigRap wants to know what kind of rigs you guys was using.
You can take that, Jackson.
We were using a little bit of both. I was on the front of the boat and was running just a normal 2-hook stacker rig on my dead sticks. And these guys were in the back bouncing, and they didn't really switch over to the dead stick thing until after I put 3 fish in the boat. And I'm like, well, it's like they're biting a little different. So they were just running regular, 3-way bouncing rigs in the back with their, their rods just basically. They just took their hand rods, their bouncing rods, and just hooked, put it in the rod holder, let it down to the bottom, and let it go. There wasn't no retying or switching rods. It was just a kind of let it go kind of deal. And yeah, there was nothing fancy to it at all. I'll tell you what, we were using floats on the on our hand rods. We were figuring out that the current was helping, that float was helping the current drag it and help us get away from the boat a little bit more. But I don't think that related to anything. But that was something we'd never done before, was use floats on our hand rods. But yeah, it was nothing out of the ordinary, just normal dead stick drifting.
Now, Jason, for the people that don't know what a stacker rig is, could you explain that for us?
Yeah, it's where we bring there's 2 sets of hooks, and there's we use the weight on the bottom, and the overhand knot with the slip on the hook, and we run 2 hooks probably a foot and a half apart, and that way when we're drifting we can target fish either right on the bottom or fish that are up off the bottom feeding, and usually you catch them on the bottom hook, but like yesterday we caught that 25 that we called. I caught him on the top hook, so it helps you target different depths at one time instead of just dragging it on the bottom all the time.
That's exactly right. And there's a couple different ways to tie those rigs, but the anywhere from a 1.5 foot to 2 or 3 feet difference up and down, especially when you're running dead sticks off the side, you can really adjust that and do quite a bit with those rigs.
Yeah, because most fish aren't in the same spot. Look at your fish finder, you'll mark them sometimes even 5-10 foot off the bottom, but you look at the fish finder, a lot of them arches that you're marking aren't on the bottom. They're 1 to 3 foot off the bottom, so that different height really helps you target the fish in the water column.
That is right. That's exactly right. If it was all on the bottom, we just drag baits right on the bottom and never use float rigs or anything else.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
You guys using rattles at all?
Nope. Okay. I've never used rattles.
Okay. We had a question in our chat about that. Just wanted to pass that along. Those kill zones would be good for that because you can stagger them and adjust them. That'd be a really cool deal. To do that, we might give that a try, Doc, see how that works out for us. If you could run 2 or 3 baits off of them.
That live bait down there was rattling enough when he seen that 80 coming at him.
I bet he was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, that was before, but I guess Jackson caught him on a chunk, so mine got caught on a live bait. That was the only one we caught on a live bait.
Really?
Yeah, the best part was Justin had dropped his rod right behind the transducer. It was just sitting there, that live bait on, and I'm in the front of the boat, and I can just see everything, and I'm looking at the back of the fish finder, and I go, huh, look at that big fish following your bait. Yeah. And I didn't even get it out of my mouth, and Frankie yelled, "Hey, live action!"
Yeah, we got to watch that fish hit the bait right on the sonar there.
That was pretty cool.
I mean, it wasn't 5 minutes after I dropped that, hit the bottom. It was unreal.
Crazy. Now, you was in your boat, wasn't you, Justin?
Yeah, we was in mine. Jackson's in the shop right now, I think.
Mine's a little sick.
A little sick, yeah. That's I was reading some of the posts today that was made about your boat being little. Your boat's not little. It's a big.
It's your standard 20-foot sea arc.
Yeah, it's not little. It's not a giant boat, but it's not little.
Well, it's not every day you got 3 guys holding 50+ pound fish in the middle of that thing trying to get a picture either. They probably look pretty small.
Yeah.
Standing on one side of it, I'm surprised you didn't turn the damn thing over right there in the parking lot.
It was close.
And what was it the news people said?
Up to the front.
And the news people said, yeah, they caught it on stink bait.
Yeah, I couldn't get over that. That's crazy. Just goes to show how far out of touch that them people are with what the reality of catfishing. I just don't see anybody ever catching fish like that on stink bait of any kind.
Yeah.
That's just kind of out of the question. But man, yeah, that was a cool video that you guys posted up this morning from what was it, Channel 2 News or whatever it was?
Yeah, St. Louis Channel, Fox 2, I believe it was.
Yep, that's a pretty neat deal. Well, you guys got a lot of notoriety out of this thing. You done a heck of a job, man. I just couldn't believe how well it come off, and that you put those giant fish like that in a boat like that. It's just, man, it was awesome.
Yeah, and I don't know, a lot of guys don't know about that trail up there. When I roll in that trail, it's a 1-day or 2-day championship once a year, the city of Grafton. And I'll tell you what, the mayor, Eric Eberlin, who puts it on, he's done a lot of time investing into this, and this is his 4th year, and he's really wanting to make this thing grow, and it's some added money next year and some bigger sponsors. So if anybody wants to check it out, it's called the RigRap Classic. It's on Facebook. And Grafton's a great town if no one's been there. There's tons of things to do, tons of bars, restaurants. It's a huge, huge tourist place. They got zip lining, all kinds of stuff, wineries, and he's really wanting to grow it. It's right on the Mississippi and Illinois River, and he'd really like to see, some of these guys that are from the area or even outside the area help it grow next year. It's going to be a pretty big thing, I believe, in the future now.
Well, with what you guys just done down there, there's no reason why you can't pack that place, because that's a big number now. And that gives these other guys from out of town, out of state, something to shoot for, because they know them fish was put back in there, and them wasn't the only fish in that area.
No, I mean, when we weighed in, there was a 64 was leading big fish. I mean, that's a pretty good big fish for Grafton. So
yes,
they're definitely there.
Now, this tournament, Jason, it's from the Alton Dam north. You can't lock through. Is that correct?
Do not walk through. It's from the Alton Dam to the Winfield Dam, and then to the Hardin Bridge on the Illinois River.
Okay.
There was talk about letting it go below this year, and it kind of just said, just leave it the way it is. I think that's kind of the way he's still going to keep it, kind of the way he's leaning on it right now. So,
well, that's a lot of fishing area.
Oh, that's all. Yeah, but a lot of guys, including myself, I mean, if I would have, I probably would have went below the dam if he would have allowed it too. So,
sure.
But a lot of guys want to get below because that's where a lot of our big fish are at, and the majority of our numbers are at. So, but I think he's planning on keeping it just in that pool from here on out.
Well, we've talked about this. Doc and I have talked about it a lot. And whenever you get a community or a town that gets behind a tournament that helps support it and make it to grow, you have to take care of them people, whether it be Grafton, Illinois, or Mississippi River Monsters in Memphis, or Owensboro, Kentucky with Monsters Only. How you got to take care of them towns that are helping you do what you do. And Grafton's not a really big place, but you're right. There's a ton of stuff to do. And within a short distance, you can find every kind of motel that you possibly could want. And there's some great places to eat down there.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's trying to do is trying to get some of these restaurants, bars. There's tons of cabins and all kinds of places to stay, hotels. And I think he's trying to get all these people on board after they saw what happened yesterday and what the possibilities of this tournament. And so it's always good when you're working with the mayor, and the mayor's in charge because he's usually the one who makes the decision. So
that's right.
He's got the authority to make the decisions on his own, and he's easy to work with, and it should be a pretty good thing as long as we can get it some of the fine details ironed out. But it'll really be a good tournament here. Next couple of years, I would definitely think so.
Yep, I hope that we can make it down there to that. Now, in fact, we're going to plan on being there next year for that because, you know, that's a great area to fish. We've fished that area in a couple of tournaments, and I like fishing down there. I didn't catch nothing like that, but you know, we done pretty good down there in a couple of tournaments, and I enjoy fishing up there. And to be quite honest, we'd planned on going below the dam, and then stayed in the Alton pool or the Grafton pool, and actually done pretty well up there. So. You can find fish. You got to look for them. You got to make your plan. You got to stick to your guns and just put them in the boat.
Yeah, I mean, talking about Grafton, I always refer as Grafton as a little Branson, is what I call it.
Right.
That's what's in a nutshell. But the fishing in Grafton in Pool 26, it is what it is. I mean, we did something special, but you hear many stories of guys going out, and I've heard of 90s getting popped in Pool 26. So you always hear about anywhere from a 40 to 70s all the time, whether it be upper up by Winfield or down by Alton or anywhere in between. It's just random.
Well, now
there's plenty of good fish in that pool.
You both know a guy that's very successful in there, and I know him too. Anthony Maggart catches a lot of fish in that pool.
Yeah,
and a lot of quality fish.
I know for a fact he's caught multiple 80s and 90s in that pool.
Yep. Yeah, he put a lot of fish in the boat. And you guys, now, Jason, you guide, but most of your guiding's below the Alton Dam, isn't it?
Yeah, most of my guiding's St. Louis to Alton, sometimes south of St. Louis. But
right,
this definitely opened my eyes of if they can get slow or, summertime, whenever you got 30 boats downtown St. Louis getting pressured, it definitely opened my eyes to the possibility, is above the dam a little bit.
Yep.
Since I've been fishing, Jason Matheny has always been on me because I constantly tell him, "Oh, you're wasting your time above that dam. Waste your time above that dam." And I said, "I'll never go up there." I mean, he actually, when Justin used to have the Riverbend Trail in Alton, Matheny actually fished a classic above the dam, and everybody went below the dam. That's how confident he was in it. And I told him, I said, "You'll never hear me say it again." I said, "It's over." Whatever I used to say about it, I said, "Cross it out and forget it." I said, "All right, I'll never say another bad word about fishing above the dam." I do not think.
Multiple times when I was running that trail, teams would fish up above and come in with 100-pound plus sack, 5 fish.
Yeah.
And if they didn't have that, they were always had 70, 80, 90 pounds, or something. And
I'm going to tell you something. 70, 80 pounds of fish will win a lot of tournaments throughout the United States.
Yeah. I bet you take 70 pounds next Saturday, Lyle. What do you think?
You bet you. If that water dropping like it's going to be dropping, I'd be thrilled to have 70. You're right. Well, I don't anticipate having 223 on 3 fish. I'll tell you that.
We didn't either, so, hey, you never know.
You never know.
I'm telling you right now, we did not have any intentions of nothing like that.
Oh,
we were high-fiving and screaming when I caught the 25-pounder 10 minutes before the 84. We thought we were on it. 25 pounds, we thought we were on it. Yeah.
Goods Fishing and Fun wants to know what the typical current in the Grafton pool is.
Ooh. In the spring, it varies. See, that's why that tournament was rescheduled this fall. So there's another thing we did. How this all came together. This tournament wasn't even supposed to be held in the fall. It was supposed to be back in May in the spring, and it got flooded out when Grafton was flooded. So they canceled it and rescheduled. So the spring, it just depends on how much water they got coming down to Illinois or how much coming out from north, down to Mississippi, and it can be ripping at times. It can be anywhere from I'd say 2.5, 3 miles an hour all the way down to what we had to deal with this last weekend, which is a snail's crawl, basically.
Oh yeah, very slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we drifted over 0.4, 0.5 mile an hour in 2 days. I mean, it was a slow, steady drift.
If we went over 0.3, it was because the wind grabbed the boat a little too much.
Wow.
And for guys that don't fish this area, that's pretty slow current for the Mississippi and Missouri rivers.
Oh, very slow. I mean, we were creeping and we had a drift sock, but I mean, it took a lot to figure out what the heck we were doing, because if we would have just tried drifting, we'd been spinning in circles. There was not enough to pull you downriver. It was miserable especially on Saturday. We had 30-mile-an-hour winds and torrential downpours in the afternoon. It was not pleasant. It's probably what my voice sounds like this as I'm sick, but yeah, it was not pleasant.
I was guessing that voice loss was from all that hollering and screaming yesterday afternoon.
I think that voice loss might be from a little bit of celebration.
Easy.
And Justin, you didn't do any celebrating last night?
I did a little bit.
Yeah, I bet you did.
I did a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we were catching them fish. It was not the easiest 3 fish I've ever landed. The 84 I caught got wrapped in another rod. So Justin has one rod. I'm fighting the 84. Frank's trying to net it. There's lines everywhere. He gets it, and then somehow the net got pinned. He didn't know if he had it. So all three of us on the front of the boat, hanging over the side of the boat, looking at this 84-pounder trying to get it over the boat. And then Justin's 56 got wrapped in drift sock. So Frankie was pulling the drift sock while Justin was reeling the fish on top of the water. And I'm sitting back there with the net just staring at this 56-pounder coming at me with a drift sock wrapped up. I'm like, oh, my God. So I just gave it the whole swoop and netted it all. I was like, we'll figure this out later.
You know, with a cluster like that going on, it's amazing that you got it in the boat at all.
No, it was interesting.
Now, was the rest of the fish that adventurous or just that one?
No.
Just them two, really. The 80, Frankie's 80 was probably the easiest one we caught, the last fish of the day there.
Yeah, he came back to the surface and just surrendered. It was perfect.
Right. That was just standard operation there.
Well, that's amazing, you know, and like I say, we're so thrilled that you guys done that and proud of you. Now, neither one of you guys are going to make Monsters on the Ohio this year, are you?
No, my boat is broke, and I talked about maybe driving down Friday, maybe hanging out for the tournament. I don't know what I got going on the rest of the week, but I've discussed that, maybe coming down and hanging out for a night and watching the weigh in and coming back, but I have not decided yet. But no, I won't be fishing it.
Well, it'd be great to have you down there. We'd all like to see you. And I'm sure everybody there would like to visit with you about catching those fish, because that's just that's a big deal, isn't it, Doc?
Yes, it is. I love big fish stories anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's definitely a big fish story. There's all kinds of factors involved.
I could sell information how to make your boat go down river with no current.
Yeah, I bet.
I'll tell you what, Ryan Casey, I called him yesterday because we've been friends for years, and I called him and I said, you might want to get to Grafton. And he was like, no way. I said, you might want to get to Grafton. He said, don't you move. I'm on my way. And he got there and he's like, what are you guys doing, dragging? I said, no. I'm kind of trying to explain what we were doing. I bet for a couple $100 we could probably guide Ryan out tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. I told him I was open this week if he wanted to go on a guide trip. So
if you go back and look at my GPS lines, they look like there's nothing straight about them.
No.
It's a controlled zigzag is what I called it. Kind of wiggling your butt down the river.
Well, there you go. Hey, if it's working, who's going to say anything about it? Because it's definitely working yesterday.
Well, like Saturday, I mean, Frank was in the back of the boat, and Frank was just catching every fish. And I'll sit in the front of the boat netting them. I said, I ain't got a problem. I'll net these fish all day.
That's right.
Just keep hooking them. Don't you worry about me.
Well, you know, being a guide, you kind of adapted to netting fish.
I am fine with it. I'll sit right. I told them, I said, I'm going to sit right up here. You guys don't worry about me. I said, I'll just tell you when to get the net. I'll sit right here.
That's how we had it planned. I drove the boat, Jackson netted them, and Frankie was going to catch all the fish.
Perfect. Perfect.
I don't know that I know Frank, but I'm so glad that you guys had him in the boat with you, because I know that he had a blast being in there with all that going on and just getting to fish with both of you. you know, that's a pleasure. Justin and I never have been in the boat together, but Jason and I have, and we had such a great time down there on the Missouri River that day. The fishing wasn't all that good, but we really had a blast. And, you know, Justin and I are going to get together and go one of these days. We just got to make it happen. It's just like everything else. You run into time factors and this and that going on, and, you know, that's just the way things work. But, you know, you guys live fairly close together, don't you?
10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, we're 15 minutes apart, I think, if that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's, you know, I don't know who all else done good in that tournament. I know Jason Huggins and his partner done pretty well. I'm trying to think of who he fished with. I can't remember.
Wade Kaminsky.
Yeah, Wade. Yeah, I know they done really well, and I don't know it. I didn't get results from anybody on the rest of it, so I don't really know. I was shocked that somebody didn't send them to me, but that's okay. It was a great tournament. They're doing wonderful things in Grafton. I'm excited for them. And like I told you earlier, Jason, if there's something that we can do to help you guys out with that tournament next year, let me know. And we'll try to help you promote it or whatever we can do to make it better. And or as well, because I'm pretty sure that they're on the right track, and you guys putting those great fish in the boat is going to do nothing but help them make
that's going to be a big promotion there.
Absolutely. If they get, you know, you got big fish, so if you can get the he's
already got, you know, I mean, he's had 30 to 40 boats every year, so he's already got a pretty good following at that. So
right,
throw some added money on that, and you get it out there, it'll grow pretty quick, I do believe.
Yeah, if you get some extra money put in there to where it'll drag the people up from different areas, he'll do wonderful. And like I say, we're looking forward to coming down there and fishing that next year. That's a great area to fish, and a lot of big fish above and below that Alton Dam. So it's the Mississippi River. People can say what they want, but that Mississippi River, I don't care where you go, you have a chance of catching a world record every time you launch your boat there.
Yeah, you know, and it kind of gets skipped around a lot. If you always hear about Alabama. You know, like I always tell people, I mean, the last 2 out of the 4 world records have came from the St. Louis area. You know, the Mississippi River looks quite a bit sometimes. I'm not too sure.
Yep, I agree. That's and every major river just about supplies water to the Mississippi River. So, and those blue cats, they travel long distance. We all know that. So that's one of the things that makes it so great. And that's the place, you know, if I had to pick one place in the United States that I could fish whenever, that's the only place that I could fish, it would be the Mississippi River somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, look at the results from New Madrid. 93-pounder was caught Saturday. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah. Dave Shipman put a giant in a boat down there. Him and his partner, they done outstanding. That's just a stud of a boat of fish.
Yeah, I mean, it produces big fish. That's for sure.
It does. It does. It's just the way it is. And Missouri River's like that. The Missouri River, since they put them regulations and no commercial fishing from where the Missouri River dumps in on the west side of Missouri to where it dumps into the Mississippi River on the east side of the state, there's some big fish being caught out of Missouri, bigger than I ever remember in the last few years.
Oh, especially up there around Brunswick, Kansas City guys. Them guys are catching 70s and 80s all summer consistently.
Constantly, yeah. They're laying them out, and I'm glad if we could get those regulations put in on the Mississippi River. My God, it's unbelievable the fish we could have.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to do something with Kentucky being so lenient on this, and them guys coming in down southern Missouri and coming in from Kentucky, and the nets and the trout lines down there, they're doing the same thing down there around New Madrid and that they're doing on the Ohio. It's no different.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they're coming from way off. It's not just there. They're coming from all areas, and they're not just coming here. They're going to Alabama, and they're going to different areas out in the James River and the Potomac River and getting those fish too. So it's a sad deal.
Yeah, I think a lot of us St. Louis guys, well, not a lot, but 3 or 4 of us are talking about going to that meeting in November over in Kentucky. That does affect us because, like I just told you about them guys coming in and taking care of the Mississippi, that does affect us. And, we need to, just because, and after being on the Ohio over the years and seeing how that place is just dwindling every year. And, I feel sorry for a lot of those guys because they just don't have the fish like they used to. It's hard for them because they're used to catching big fish, 10, 15 years ago. Just watching it disappear in front of you, I couldn't even imagine what kind of effects that would do. It'd be terrible. So
that's exactly right, and I'm sure Doc can attest to that because he's seen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even from the 10 years I've fished the Ohio, from what it used to be when I went there and fished to what it was 3 weeks ago when I was there, I was like, wow, this is definitely changing, and it's changing fast.
It is.
Yeah, these tournaments like Grafton that are growing in a Monsters on Ohio and a Mississippi River Monsters, I believe if these events keep growing like that in these smaller towns and the mayors and the elected officials start seeing how much money they can bring in revenue on a 1 or 2 day event once a year, it's going to help with getting regulations on these pools.
Well, those are the people that have the pool that can go to your conservation department or your DNR departments or your Congress people or representatives and say, hey, you're killing us. We can't survive without tax dollars, and this is what we need, and you're going to have to help us with it. And those are the people that can do it. It's a sad thing to say, but it's politics, and you've got to play their game because they're the ones that make the decisions.
It's been like that since I can ever remember, whether you're talking about fishing or duck hunting or
that's right.
Anything you want to get done, how much you want to fight for it.
That's exactly right. And we're going to get some stuff done, and we're all working very hard to do it. I know I'm planning on going to the Kentucky meeting next month and try to help them guys out. I know Doc's planning on going. I think at least one of you guys had made a post about going down there, and we really need to get that done.
Yeah, I think there's some guys from around here and even out in central Missouri that are talking about going just to, like I said, it affects us. It doesn't affect the Ohio River. It affects the Mississippi. And so if I can get away and go out there, we're going to try to make it out there at least.
Well, that'd be great. Yeah, Jason, I know that everybody in that area and nationwide would appreciate any support that they can get. I'm excited about being there. And just because you show up doesn't mean that they'll even listen to you. Doesn't mean you'll get a chance to talk in front of them.
But just showing up.
Yeah, just by showing up, you're making the effort to show them that we care as much as the local people do, and numbers speak volumes. It's that way with everything we do.
And there's a reason they put them on a Monday. They don't put them. You don't ever see them on a Saturday, or a Sunday. They're always on a weekday. That's because guys like us have to work.
That's right.
Yeah, a Monday afternoon. Awesome.
Yeah, it's just and that's the way it is. But like I say, you have to learn to play their game because the guys that are fighting on the other side, they're going to be there. I promise you, they'll be there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they always do, and they have a lot of support. They have a lot of funding behind them.
And that's one of the things that hurts us. We don't have the funding, and until we get an organization that can go nationwide and people will get behind and support with some funding so we can fight these things, we're going to struggle a little bit, but we need to do that. Nobody really has the money to do it, but it's going to take it. It just is.
There's another way of doing that. If you don't have the money and the financial, you can always get the votes.
That's right.
Votes change things too, if you got the numbers.
It got us a great president. Well, guys, I can't tell you how happy I am that you spent your night with us on here after being out and catching it.
Thanks so very much.
It's just been real. But while we got you on here, Justin, why don't you pick me out a number between 1 and 5? Let's spin that wheel again.
How about 4?
4 it is. Two, 3, 4. And the winner is Sean Abney. Sean got in the drawing today. His wife had won something not too long ago. Heather might have just spun the wheels off of her, Doc.
It don't sound as loud as it was when we took it down to Memphis.
Well, it's further away from the mic, too.
I keep waiting to hear that Jeopardy music, Doc.
Yeah. Well, I didn't play it tonight because I was waiting on a text from Carl Morris, and it just came in. So that's why there's no music tonight.
And Sean Abney, you have won a survivor unit from Crusher Marine. If you will message Robert, he will make sure that you get one of those. They're an outstanding product. And Doc, I got to tell you, and guys, I'm not putting you off. I got to share this. I had got a hold of Doc because we had to get our other boat ready to go for this tournament coming up. And the survivor unit that I put on it didn't really go past the bottom of the boat. The way the intake for the live well was made, it didn't go down. It filled up my live well and was running out the overflow. So they absolutely work because I shut the thing completely off and it filled it up twice while we was testing it yesterday. They're an amazing product. If you guys tournament fish, I'm telling you, you need to have one of them. They're just a really great product. Just contact Robert up there, and he will hook you up. Good deal.
Good deal.
Listen, fellas, thank you so much for joining tonight. Jason, we've been trying to get you on here for a couple years, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show with us. Tell everybody about your guide service and how they can contact you.
Yeah, I'm still doing a little guiding. I'm done for the year, but my website's www.tworiversguideservice.com, and we're on Facebook too. And we're based out of St. Louis, Missouri.
And I can attest for the fact that you'll have a great time with Jason. He does a really good job taking you out on a guided event. Cindy and I had a blast with him. Justin.
Yep.
2 or 3 times we've had you on here recently. You're either winning tournaments or you're catching 100-pound fish.
I guess I better keep fishing Octobers, huh?
Yeah.
You guys, thank you all so much. Cindy and I are so proud of you, what you've done. You represent our company so well, and we're so pleased to have you guys with us. And, it's really, really a great weigh in. I never dreamed 3 fish I would ever see a weight like that, but congratulations, fellas.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lyle. Doc.
We'll be talking to you guys real soon.
All right, guys, take care.
All right. See you. Thanks for being on the show.
Man, that's a sack, Doc. Now that's a sack. 230 pounds of fish on 3 fish is just, I can't fathom it. I don't know about you, but I just can't imagine doing that. That's just a huge number. What do you got for current events or tournament results, Doc?
Well, I got a message here from Carl.
Okay.
So I want to read what he sent me. He said, Doc, bait is hit and miss right now. Some here and there. Some days are better than others. But we have everyone, 12 to 15 guys fishing for skipjacks. Going to get after them starting Wednesday, and we will be bringing up the first load on Thursday night and another one on Friday night. And we will give it all we got to make it happen. Even recruited some of the guys from the landscape company to come down and help. And Carl owns a landscape company, so he must have gotten some of them guys to go down there and help him. So,
well, I know that he is.
But he can try his best.
Yeah, he's working really hard to do that. I know for a fan. I haven't bothered him because I know how hard he's working trying to get this done. And Jeremy Hedges, if you will go to my Facebook page or the Black Horse Rods Facebook page, I have shared that video on both places, and you can see that weigh in. Ryan Casey has a really good video of it also on his page, so you can watch that video of them that weigh in for them guys on any one of those places. But yeah, that's just crazy.
Yep. So appreciate it, Carl. Thanks for the update, buddy. And if you're on the show, I will see you down there this weekend.
Absolutely. You know, and things happen that is beyond everybody's control, and none of us like it, and we get aggravated. But and I'm as guilty as the next guy. But you have to understand that they're doing the best they can to get this bait for everybody. And Jim and them is not selling any bait to anybody, even locals. They're saving it all for us tournament guys because they know we're coming down there, and that's a pretty cool deal from our perspective. I'm sure he's catching some flack from some of the local guys, but we all appreciate everything they do. So make sure, whether it be licensing or tackle, or if you break something or you forget something, stop by Bass and More and help them guys out. They do a lot to support this tournament, and this is one of the largest tournaments in the United States.
Yep.
All right. Any other results or upcoming events?
Results: Cabela's Championship, Water Tree Lake, South Carolina. First place, Round Hill, Mr. Ron Howard. Kelly Goodbolt, 211.16 pounds. I think that is Ron's either second or third championship he has won.
Yeah,
somebody correct me. You know, I know Ron's has always been there. Second place, James Saxon, Richard Wimmer, 180.40. Third, Richard Warsaw and Christian Lunsford, 174.52. Fourth, Benji and Riley Brown, 170.94. Big Fish was Ray and Tracy Waldrop, 45.56. Blue, let's see, Hoover Reservoir, Flathead Blues Tournament. 3 fish limit. First place, Ron Hughes and David Funk, 45.9. This is 3 fish, too. Second place, Amanda Johnson and Shane Henderson. They also had Big Fish, which was a 25.7 pound flat. They had a total of 42.3. And third was Kelly Gibney and Joe Hatfield, 30 pounds even. And that's all the results I've got, Lyle.
Okay.
Upcoming events, Monsters on the Ohio. And I've got the correct thing this time. We are looking at 5 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 15 seconds away.
That's outstanding. Cad Daly sent a message in our chat. Catfishing for Kids Fishing Tournament, November 18th on Wheeler Lake, $50 a boat, Ingalls Harbor in Decatur, Alabama. All donations are greatly appreciated. Let's make them kids have a great Christmas, and that is a wonderful event that they're putting on down there. Very happy that they're doing that. Should be more stuff like that going on. From all of us, and I'll be the first to admit that we don't do nearly enough of it. Doc, I got a surprise for you.
Uh-oh, what?
Well, I just got a message a few minutes ago when I was trying to answer it and do this. For many of you YouTube fellas that are on YouTube, there's a gentleman that has a pretty popular channel called Catfishing, and he is in Minnesota fishing with Luke Hinges, and they are in the boat, and I'm going to send them a link and bring them in here for a few minutes before we cut out. How that
all right, that's cool.
You know, now here's one thing before I forget it, Doc. We are 10 boats from 500 or 10 anglers from 500 anglers qualified for the Catfish Weekly National Championship.
Wow.
We are at 490 anglers, and we have several events yet to go. So, yeah.
Monsters on the Ohio, is that one of them?
Yes, it is.
That's what I thought.
Yes, it is.
But I'm already qualified.
Yeah, well, you know, we'll just keep bringing them down till we get somebody that's
Yeah.
not. We want the best of
That's right.
And there's some big dogs entered in this, are going to be entered in. You know, there's some big names in here. So, and the sad part is I'm not going to be in it, you know. I really hate that. I really do. I was pretty wound up about being there. But the show must go on, and we're going to make sure that it does. So it'll be a great time. Be a great time. We'll get Luke in here in just a minute. He usually takes him a minute to get things lined up, and we'll visit with them guys a little bit, and then we're going to have to get ready to go, man. It's Monsters Week, Doc.
That's right. I am really looking forward to this tournament.
I am too, and just getting to Owensboro and seeing everybody, because yes, like Memphis, there's some people that we only see at Memphis. There's some people that we only see at Monsters on the Ohio. And, you know, we're going to go down and visit with Jim and Sheila and Brandon at Bass and Moore. We're going to get to see Aaron Wheatley. And, you know, Aaron, he's kind of full of it. So I'm pretty sure if you're running low, he can fill you back up.
Yeah.
Brandon and Sheila, Jim said they was going to be doing the cookout stuff. So, yeah, that's going to be a big deal. Larry Muse and Dino Metter won first place at the Battle of Vicksburg. That is correct. Big fish, 86 pounds, 5 fish weigh-in of 244 pounds. That is a great weigh-in down there.
Wow.
Congratulations to Larry and Dino. That is a really good weigh-in. Of course, Larry catches a lot of quality fish, and Dino does too. I'm guessing that Dino probably catches as many of those big fish as Larry does, would you say?
Yeah.
Monticello boat ramp. Just got this sent to me, but it doesn't say where it's at. Lake Monticello.
The Twins.
Yes.
Not sure where that's at.
They're not in a boat.
11, 18. Oh, I thought they was in their
They
boat.
were in a boat.
Nope.
No, you're at Luke's house.
We're in my house right now, Lyle.
You're what?
We're in my house.
Welcome to Catfish Weekly.
How's it going, guys?
It's
Good.
going good. How you doing? I watched you guys the other night. You was out on the boat catching sturgeon.
Yeah, that was a bucket list fish of mine for the longest time. So we kind of had this trip planned for a few months now, and so I think the biggest was like a 50-incher.
50 and a half.
50 and a half inches. And we ended up catching a monster channel cat as well. That was like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So how long you been up there?
Since Friday night is when I came in. So I'll be leaving tomorrow evening. Back down to the grand old Tennessee River.
Well, there's nothing wrong with fishing the Tennessee River, I got to tell you.
No, there's not.
Nothing wrong with it at all. So
It's not a problem.
it's not a problem.
Doc really likes Tennessee River.
I love yeah.
It's a great fish.
Area at Kingston, and you fished what, down around Chickamauga?
Yeah, Chickamauga Dam tailwater, so it's really technically Nickajack. I guess it's the lower end of Nickajack. So pretty much I go through right downtown Chattanooga. So that's usually where I fish.
I've never been down that far. Farthest I can't get past Watts Bar.
Watts Bar is is a very excellent fishery up there. So I don't think Watts Bar has commercial fishing either. I think down where I am, commercial fishing's allowed. So Watts Bar has a lot more, it seems like, of abundant bigger blues and flatheads.
Stripers.
Stripers, yeah, stripers run really well there. Stripers used to run really well at Nickajack Dam, but for the past couple years, it hasn't been as good down there. Watts Bar is really the place to go.
Yeah.
So.
Isn't that the area that Captain Scott Manning fishes a lot?
Yes.
Yeah. Scott Manning does more Watts Bar, Mountain Hill, and I think also the Clinch River.
Yeah.
Rivers up
fishing
there.
out of Kingston.
Yeah.
Out of Kingston, Tennessee.
Yep. Yeah, he knows his waters really well. So I mean, it seems like every time he goes out, he can usually get a big one. So.
That's outstanding. Well, Scott does a lot of good stuff for the sport. Luke, where you been, man?
Good. We got a couple shows from this weekend, so that'll be good.
Absolutely. I watched the Chat Cat video this morning. I know that guys don't understand how you find time to do stuff. Well, when you're working, you turn your monitor around, you turn the TV off, you crank the volume up, and you get to listen to. And when something's happening, you just stop what you're doing, you turn around and watch them videos.
That's right.
Yeah. I actually, I think I was up to like 3 in the morning editing that video to try to get it up for you guys on Sunday.
That was pretty.
Yeah, it's been. I'm kind of a cut and dry type, editor. I don't spend a whole lot of time like the Northwoods Angling crew does. But
he spends some time on his stuff.
Looking for. Yeah, I only spend like a couple hours, editing stuff, and then I just export it and then upload to YouTube because I usually upload twice a week, every Sunday and Thursday. So I gotta keep the videos going, Yep.
Luke, how much live feeding are you going to do this winter? Are we going to be cooking?
I'll start cooking again here once the ice comes.
How far out is that?
Month and a half, maybe. I'll be in the boat. Well, I shouldn't say till ice comes. I'll be breaking ice with my boat until I can't break ice anymore.
I assume that you do it like we used to do when I duck hunted. We would launch the boat and turn it or get it turned around, and you'd rev the motor up and put the front of it on the ice that it break through, and you'd rev it up, put the front of it on, and you'd do that till you got in the channel where you could go make your run up to where you wanted to duck hunt. You set up your blind, you duck hunt.
Yeah, we'll fish till we got to break. We got to usually go about a half mile through ice when it gets pretty good. So it's a process, but it pays off when the big sturgeon are out there lingering, and it can pay off in dividends sometimes. So
now, are we going to be seeing some ice fishing shows this year?
Oh yeah,
I thought so.
You bet.
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh yeah.
I gotta tell you,
oh yeah.
Doc and I talked about this before. You guys driving on that ice, I don't care how thick it is, that ain't happening with me.
Mm-mm.
I ain't getting out.
You know what it is? It's you get to a stage in your life and you become a man and you make big decisions like that, Lyle, and it can pay off sometimes,
Yeah, he usually has to replace his prop every couple months.
When I was your age, Luke, there's not too much I wouldn't do or try, but I'm not that age anymore, and it's not that important. We lost him.
Hold on.
There you are.
Hold on. Someone is trying to call me.
What's up with that? Did you not tell him you're on Catfish Weekly?
Well, I didn't. He doesn't have internet, so.
Oh. Then he don't care.
And they're really screwing me on the sound here. I can't hear anything, and it's not because of you guys. It's because of me. The guy tried to call. Now I can't. I can very hardly hear anything else except my own voice right here.
Really?
Well, let me ask you, have you guys been having a great time up there?
Are you having a great time?
Yeah, it's been great. Yep. So, it's been a blast. I think everyone needs to experience the fight of a sturgeon. That's for sure. Because I mean, they pull down like a big blue, but they move around like a bass. So it's kind of like a fish on steroids in a way. Because they're so long, they have that long tail, and they can really whip you quick.
Yep.
So I definitely enjoy it.
They can. I enjoyed your live feed the other night. It looked like you guys was having a great time, and all of you in the boat, Blake and Jacob was with you, and you know, Luke, you got to keep them live feeds going, buddy.
What's that?
You got to keep them live feeds going.
I will. I'm gonna try to do more of them.
Well, listen, fellas, I know you're having.
My sound is gone.
Yeah.
I can hardly hear anything.
Yeah, I'm sorry you guys are having them problems. Listen, I appreciate you both being on here with us, and thanks for giving me a heads up. Luke, it's great to have you guys on the show with us. Anytime you got something going on, you know, just get a hold of me. We'll surprise the world with you guys.
Yeah, keep an eye out. He's gonna have a few 4 or 5 episodes coming out from up here. So
they'll be kind of spread out over the weeks, but
tell us,
like 4 episodes.
Tell us how people can go see all your videos from both of you.
What do you say?
Well, to find our videos, you just go to that thing called YouTube up there. It's red and white.
No.
And
you'll see a little play button. It looks like a triangle.
Yeah, type in Northwoods Angling. And when you want to find Chat Cats,
just type in Chat Cats Fishing, and then you'll see me.
Awesome. Listen,
together we're something else.
Together we are North Chat Cats Woods
Fishing.
Yeah,
it's real good.
Outstanding. Well, listen, thanks for spending.
I can't hear it all anymore, Lyle.
What's that?
We're gonna cut out. I appreciate you guys having us on.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Lyle. Appreciate having me on here.
See you, Doc.
Let's do it.
Looking good, Doc. Looking great. Keep it up.
All right, man. Take care.
Bunch.
See you guys.
Okay, Doc. What is there anything else we got to go do?
How about my tip?
How about Doc's tip of the week? We got to have that.
And I don't know if I've shared this, but I'm hoping I haven't. But I've been doing this for a year, so I may repeat a few things. But Lyle asked me when we were on the Mississippi rivers, he goes, "What those numbers on the side of that reel for?" Well, what I do is I number all my reels. And if I have trouble with a reel, then I just make a note of what that number is, and then I can repair that reel. And Lynn had some problems with this reel, and so I knew what the number was, number 5. And I keep track of everything on the computer. So if I have a repair, if I break something, you know, I just write it down on the computer. But you know, when you have a number on a reel, you can isolate that reel from all your other reels, especially with, you know, I think I've got a total of maybe 32 reels here at the house. So the numbering system, I think, works real well. So that's Doc's tip for the night.
That's a great tip, Doc, and I never will forget when you explained that to me, just like you did when we was down there fishing in Memphis. It made so much sense that you had them numbers on there, and you have a record on your fishing reel, just like a lot of people keep on their vehicles.
Yeah.
And you know everything that's been done to it and what needs to be done to them, and you can just take care of them, and you're down the road. So that's a great tip. Mitchell Jones. Every week we make a post on our Catfish Weekly Facebook page. Normally it's about the next week's guest. And underneath that, we'll tell you that is where you need to make your post that you would like to be in the drawing, and that's how you get entered in there. And when I see that and we do them mornings and nights, usually every day, sometimes not during the middle of the day, but if your name, underneath your name, if we hit the like button, you know that we have you entered in the contest. If for some chance, and it happens occasionally, that we miss somebody's name, just re-enter it or send us a message and say, "Hey, you forgot me," or whatever, and we'll get you entered. But please get in on the RigRap prize wheel game. We have a lot of fun with that, and it's going to continue for a long time to come. What do you say, Doc? Once more?
Yep, let's go one more time. Let's go with a number 1.
Number 1. All right. And the winner is Chris Dunaway. All right. Cindy is feverishly working trying to get our stuff ready to go, Doc.
Yeah, I hear. It sounds like it in the background.
Yeah, breaking ice for the coolers. I've been working on the boat, but she's been out there helping me and getting the truck ready and loading all the stuff. And
we'll have to go to Owensboro to rest.
We're going to Owensboro to rest
Until fish day.
Catfish now. Chris, if you will contact Ron Presley with Catfish Now magazine, he will hook you up with an article about your fishing adventures. And that's a great prize. It's a lot of fun, and you'll have a blast talking with Ron. And he will make that public to where everybody can find out all about how your fishing adventures do. Let me check a couple messages, Doc, right quick.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I think from what I'm seeing,
next week's show is going to be awesome because we're going to, this time next week, we will know who the new winner of the 2017 Monsters on the Ohio is.
You know, and Doc, we're going to try to get the winners on. We invited the Massengills on, but I never heard anything back from them. They're the ones that won Mississippi River Monsters. So whoever the winners are, if they will come on the show with us, we reserve next Monday to have them on the show, providing they have the internet connections and a way to do it. And if Cindy says she'll be here ready to go, I hope that's the case, because if that happens, that means Lyle done pretty good too. But yeah, so we're going to try to make that happen. Danny Cow, welcome to Catfish Weekly. Glad to see you in there tonight. He says he put his rig wraps to work today. Very handy with limited space on a kayak. Danny,
that would be.
Yeah, I actually watched your video this afternoon of your kayaks and your story about how you fixed that up. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So I think that's it for tonight, Doc. We'll be making a post. I'll be on the road tomorrow, so I'll get the post up for the registration for the RigRap prize wheel as quick as I can.
Okay.
May go ahead and do it later on tonight, but I got to try to get a little bit of sleep and see what happens. But don't forget, Thursday afternoon, we will be live from Bass and More in beautiful Owensboro, Kentucky.
Safe travels, Lyle. You and Cindy. Be careful going down. I'll see you Wednesday.
You too, Doc, and everybody else heading to the tournament. We'll see you down there. Have a great trip and be safe. See you Thursday.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Catfish Weekly.